what is the difference between area and perimeter? We have now talked about both of those vocabulary words, both of those math words. Today we're going to talk about what makes those words different. We've been using both of them, but just because you've been using both of them doesn't mean that they measure the same thing. What's the difference between area and perimeter? Lincoln, what do you know?
The perimeter is on the outside and the area is on the inside.
I love that. Perimeter we're going to throw in that word measures. Remember, this is all about measuring. And I like what Lincoln said. Perimeter measures the outside. Outside of what, Lincoln?
The outside of whatever it is, the shape,
Yeah, of a shape. And that shape could be anything. It could be the outside of a desk. Could be the outside of a yard. Could be the outside of your fridge. Perimeter measures the outside of a shape. I need a contrast word. What could be a contrast word? Because I'm telling how they're different. Shelby? So am I going to say perimeter measures the outside of a shape unlike? Maybe. Unlike
area.
Area. I like that. What does area measure? I already know it does not measure the outside of the
inside.
shape. So what does it measure, Harper?
It measures the inside of the shape.
It measures the space on the inside. Unlike area, that measures the space on the inside of a shape. All right, so today's task, we are going to be entering into a robot racing competition. So you need, for your robot racing, you need to program a path for your robot to follow. The criteria, that means the rules of this robot path, are below. It must travel exactly 24 feet. Does that mean it can travel 28 feet?
No.
What about 20 feet?
No.
What about 2 feet?
No.
What about 24 feet?
Yes.
Yes, it has to be exactly 24 feet. It also has to travel in the shape of a polygon. We haven't really talked about this word too much, but a polygon is any shape that is closed. That just means that it doesn't have an opening. So for instance, this is not a polygon. Do you see that giant hole shape?
Yeah.
That is not a polygon. A polygon is just any shape as long as it doesn't have any holes.
Does it have to have 4 sides?
It does not have any other rules other than it has to be completely closed. Subtitle, examples of polygons. Is that an example of a polygon?
Yes.
Yes. Has another name. What is that shape?
Square.
Other name.
Square.
Could be a square. Could be called a rectangle.
Parallel.
Could be called a quadrilateral. I'm just going to write quad for short. Could be called a parallelogram. And it could be called a polygon. All of those are correct.
The square has a lot of names.
Square does have a lot of names.
Could a rectangle work as that as well?
Rectangle doesn't have to have the same rules as a square, so it gets a little complicated there.
What about rhombus?
A rhombus is similar to a square in that it does have straight equal sides, but it doesn't have those square corners.
Um,
What about this shape? What about that shape? Is that shape a polygon?
no.
Yes. Yes, it is. What is the name of this shape?
Triangle.
Triangle. It just has one name other than polygon.
It's not off that because you know, like that.
Oh, you were thinking I was saying, is it parallel?
Yeah. That's not I know.
All right, what about this? Is that going to be a polygon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything could be a polygon.
What is the name of this shape?
Trapezoid.
Trapezoids and quadrilateral, very good. Trapezoids, remember, have to have that one set of parallel lines.
It's not a parallelogram though.
It is not, because it only has one set. Remember, a trapezoid can also look like this, because that has one set of parallel lines.
Why'd you
Remember,
know that
I'm
one?
writing. Some of you I don't think are writing right now. That's kind of a problem. Let's talk about some shapes we haven't really talked about this year.
Oh, no, please.
Oh my god.
Then I have the
So this has 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A 6-sided shape. That's disrespectful, so that'll be a minute.
No, I was talking to myself like I'm stupid.
Oh, can we keep that thought in our head then? Thanks. That's called a hexagon. Hexagons don't have to look like that, just like trapezoids don't have to look like that. As long as it has 6 sides, it is a hexagon. Yes.
Can I go bring my water?
What about this shape?
That's a parallelogram.
This is a what?
Parallelogram.
We could call it a parallel.
Lockdown, 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 lockdown.
Your voice is not on, please. Your voice is not on. Your voice is not on. Excuse me. Please don't lean on this. It's okay.
Lockdown, lockdown, lockdown.
Your voice is not on. Alright, this is fine. Just stay where you are. Do not move. Turn your voice off. Do not sit on my stuff. Do not stand on my stuff. Please stop moving. I need you closer to me. I need you as close to behind me as possible. You will have an entire lunch of silent lunch. Stop moving. Polygons, I want you to make 3 crazy polygons. They don't have a name other than polygons. The only rules of a polygon is you have to make sure it comes back to the start. There can be no holes where if a robot was following a path, it would get stuck. So go ahead and draw 3 more crazy shapes. Well,
Could a circle be a polygon?
a circle is a polygon because it comes back to the start. There's no was in it.
So that was the example I showed you.
Yes. So in a moment, you are going to get your robot design paper. It's going to be a graph paper. Your robot can go diagonal as long as the corners are still touching. Does that make sense? Okay, but if the corners aren't touching, it's not going to be able to go. You need to design 4 different paths for your robot. One path needs to be a rectangular path. That means it needs to be in the shape of what? You need to create a hexagonal path. That means it needs to be in the shape of a
Hexagon.
You need a trapezoid path. That means it needs to be in the shape of a
Trapezoid.
and then a polygon-shaped path of your choice. You get to choose the path that you would like that 4th one to be. Remember, your path has to be exactly 24 feet long. That does not mean one side of your path is 24 feet. That means from start all the way to finish is 24 feet. Yes.
So do we have to use like 6, like say I'm doing a hexagonal path, and do we have to use 6 sides to make the whole path?
Yes, because that's the rule to be a hexagon. Yes. Okay, so far so good. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
No? Alright, so we've got our grid paper. Because I don't have a lot of grid, let's pretend that my path has to be, I don't know, 3, 5, it can be 3, so I'll be able to do it. Let's do something small, like 7, sure, 7. Here's my robot. I'm going to work on my rectangular. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll pretend that it was 9. Do we see how I made a path that is 9? That would be my rectangular path. Done. Now I need a hexagonal path. Still has to be a perimeter of. How do you make this? So if you're doing diagonal, you just have to make sure your corners touch like that. Okay? So far so good?
What if you have to like miss the corner by a bit?
The corners gotta touch. Yes. Yes. Yep. Alright, so when you get your paper, please put your name